In this lesson, we will learn about doing data visualization using R. Okay, so look, if we look at the R Studio, I have written the codes already. So if you look at the first line, it shows R Studio is throwing up a sort of not error, but rather a warning sign, and it's telling that the package ggplot2 is required but is not installed. Now, what do we do for that? We need to install it. Now, how do we do that? You can click install directly here, and that should do the job. Alternatively, if you can just write it down, install packages ggplot2, and this should do the job as well. So if you clicked on this, or maybe here, both should do the same work. That will throw up an warning, and that's fine. Warnings are fine. What's important that it gets installed. Okay, so looks like the installation has been done. And as I said in my previous lessons, that R Studio might not have the base software of R might not have all the functionalities you need, all the libraries you need, but you can install them in this similar fashion. It's very simple, and you probably might need to do it several times with several different kinds of libraries. You need to install them from CRAN, and this is how you do it. And definitely you need an internet connection to do that because it is coming from CRAN. Okay, now, but like I said before, once you are done with installing a package once, that's all you need. Okay, you do not need to reinstall it again and again. So you can just, I will just delete it. I'll probably will never need to reinstall it until and unless I'm changing my device, or maybe uninstalling it. Okay, uninstalling R. So let's get started. So in this case, when we will be looking at data visualizations, the way we do it. Okay, so we will be using ggplot2 library. Okay, and we need to get the data. Let's get the data. So it's here, it's under my psychotherapy project. I'll go and copy as path. There are many ways to do this, but this is the way I prefer because I find this is the simplest one. But that's just me. Okay, so there are different ways to do this kind of reading of CSV file. You can do it by setting up directories, so many other ways, and that's fine if you are trying some other way. The main thing is that it works. And once that's done, we'll first do a histogram. Now, when we are talking about any plots in R, so there are a couple of things. So the plot itself, and that's the final end product. But other than that, there are the geometric objects, like, for example, bar, points, histogram, bar, line graph, and lines, box plot, those kind of things. And then there are the aesthetics, for example, the color, size, shape, those kind of things. So these are, you can think of it in sort of a layer, but to keep it simple, if you look at the code for histogram, we are giving this command for print, which means show or generate or create a plot. And we are also calling in ggplot, the patient underscore data, which is this variable which had the data set in it, and then AES, this stands for aesthetics. Remember, I just said there are two main things, aesthetics and geometric objects. So AES stands for aesthetics, okay, and geom stands for geometric objects. Geometric objects, like I said, it could be histogram, it could be line graph, and we will probably do a lot of point graph, a lot of things. I'll show you how, because here in this case for histogram, you can see I have mentioned geom underscore histogram. Now these are not variable names, remember. Variable name was patients underscore data, and I could have named it anything. I could have said Chandril data. Of course, if I'm being consistent with it, okay? For example, this will be Chandril data as well, and for everything else, that's fine. These are variable names, and you can keep anything. You can name it anything you want, but these are like geom underscore histogram, AES, ggplot, print. These are functions, some of the specific functions, and you need to be very specific about it, and you if in it's case sensitive. Okay, R needs to see these things in this format only. So for example, if by chance, if you forget about naming it something else, but even if you just write P capital, R will throw up an error. R won't understand that what you are trying to do. See, it says error, unexpected symbol. Okay, now I'll try to do this, and now let's run this. Yeah, you can see there are no errors at the moment, which is good. Okay, again, this error is coming up, which means we need to add one backslash here, or maybe one forward slash. Okay, so now if you run this, yeah, it will throw up this beautiful plot, this histogram for depression scores. So once this is done, once this histogram is done, let's look into the scatter plot. Okay, so for scatter plot, we are printing it, we're using ggplot, and same as before. Earlier, we used the geometric object of histogram. Now we are using geometric object of point because it is a scatter plot. So it will be like point, 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 point everywhere. Likewise, down here, we will be using box plot. That's the geometric object. And further below, we will be using line and point for line graph. And finally, if you scroll down, for pie chart, we don't have to worry about that. Okay. And what else? For aesthetics, for scatter plot, since it's a two-dimensional thing, so the x-axis will be the therapy duration, if that's the variable you want to assess, and y-axis will be the improvement score. And let's say you want to color based on gender, male and female. Okay, and you can specify the size, shape, and everything with this geom points, and you can specify the manuals, like the colors manually with blue and orange. In this case, you could have pressed green, and that's fine, right? Okay, so that's not a problem. You can change the title of the scatter plot. Likewise, for box plot, you can, maybe I'll just change to light. You can change the colors, so I'm not changing it anyway, it does not make sense. But for aesthetics, you'll see that the x-axis here we are taking as gender, and y-axis depression underscore score, but you can write anxiety underscore score, that's fine, anything you want. And this is a categorical variable for box plot, and you have to understand which plot is for what. Okay, what type of variable. So for box plot, it is for, one has to be a categorical variable and the other one a numeric variable. Okay, but for scatter plot, both of them has to be numeric variable, like a continuous variable, for example, like time duration, improvement score, those kind of things. Okay, and for pie chart, for example, it has to be one categorical variable. That's what pie chart is used to plot, or to demonstrate, to visually demonstrate. And what else? for line graph, you can see that what we have done is that we have taken together two variables like age group. Okay, we have taken the age group and we have taken improvement scores, and then we have tried to do the plot. We have specified the size. Even if you don't, that's fine, because it will then take the default. What you need to do is, if you leave it like this, sorry, if you leave it like this, then R will take the default value. But if you want to become specific, then you can specify the size here, and you can change the age groups, or the variable name, the header name, the column header name, as per you wish, and that should be fine. So once this is done, so Control A, which selects everything, and I'll just run. But before that, I'll just clean everything so that it's visually easier for you to see what kind of result we got. Now there is nothing to see here actually, because there are no result to show. It's just the plots, and we have got the pie chart. Okay, so I'll start it from the beginning. If you click here, okay, so that's the scatter plot. Okay, improvement score, therapy duration. If you look at the scatter plot here, x-axis we had set to therapy duration. That was the variable here, therapy duration. And y-axis we have set to improvement score, which is here, improvement score. So this is the x-axis, this is the y-axis. You can keep this as x-axis, this as y-axis, or this as x-axis, this as y-axis. N number of combinations are fine, depending on your research question. Whatever you want to do it. But the point is, the way you set it, it will happen that way. Okay. The next is the histogram. We have already checked. Instead of depression score, you can also put anxiety score. That's fine, no problem. Here's the box plot. Okay, so for box plot we have used gender and depression score. I mentioned one of these variable has to be categorical, one of these has to be numeric, and this is what it is. So male, female, the red one is male. I can change, it is light pink. Okay, light pink. I can change maybe female to light pink, for example, and male to light blue. That's absolutely fine. And I can run this again. Yeah, did you see the color changed? You can change this kind of color, and these are outliers we can see here. These are some of the outliers, these dots, and this is the median, this line, and this is first quartile and third quartile, and the second quartile is the this one, the second quartile. Okay, so that's box plot. And then we have line graph. Oh, here it is. So this is the line graph. Okay, for line graph, age of improvement, age group, and group, you can do it based on the group. So we have, let's see, let me show you this. So initially, if you might have noticed, the age was 56, 69, like this. There were no age groups. But what did we do here? So what we do here is that, where is age group? We have created this age groups. Okay, here it is. So we have created a new variable called age group, and then we have cut it based on these breaks at 18, 30, 40, 50, 60, and 70. What this means is that I'm telling R that go to this age variable, this age column, and then create another uh, column which will be categorical. So what happens here is that it will be like 18 to 30, 30 to 40, 40 to 50 years, 50 years to 60 years, 60 years to 70 years. Now what R is doing, and it's not showing you, but you'll get a pretty good sense of this. So what this is doing is that, so this person has age of 56. So what R is doing is that 56, so R is putting this person into this box, 50 to 60, 50 to 60. Okay, and likewise for the other people. So you can do this kind of conversion between variables. Maybe you have a numeric variable, you want to categorize it, then you can do that in this way. Okay, so that's the overview. And the final thing is a pie chart. And a pie chart is, like I said before, we use it for categorical variables, how many male we had, how many female we had, things like, for example, how many fans of soccer, how many fans of cricket, those kind of things. So we can create this kind of pie chart if you have got one categorical variable that you want to show. Now, the final thing I wanted to show you was how to save these plots. Okay, so let's say you have these plots. Now it might take a little bit of time, yeah, but just hold on, don't panic. And you need to create export, save as image. You can do as save as PDF, but let's say if you are pasting it in your Word document, then just paste it here like this, and I'll just box plot, you can name it anything. Directory, for directory, what I'll do, I'll go to desktop, and I had created, while starting this program, I had created a particular folder where I want to save everything. Okay, so that it's easier for me to stay organized and find my files next time when I'm opening my computer. So I'll just create open, and that's it. And I'm clicking save, and that's it, that's done. So now if I go to desktop, you'll see that this has been saved. Now you can paste this on Word document, and that should do your job. Yeah, this is it. So you can just copy this and paste it on Word document. Okay, and that's it. So final thing I wanted to show you is how to save. So you are saving it here, so you can just click on save and it will save it. Now there is other way to do it. So if you want to save it in a particular folder, for example, the one I created, so I'll just create save as, go to desktop, my psychotherapy project, maybe I'll just write R codes for data visualization tutorial, and save as R will be the file format. That's cool. I'll click on save, and that's it. It has been saved here. So the next time I open R, or even you can share this with your colleagues, with your classmates, and maybe upload it on your GitHub account if you have one. But you have something now to refer back to if you are logging in next time. Okay, so I'll just keep on click it save. Okay, so it has been saved already. And that's it for this lesson on data visualization. Now open your computer and do this in practice.